I was presenting, okay, ahead of our IPOs, and Larry and Sergey were in the front row. And I was presenting on our product strategy, but I also presented on our 1-1-1 model.
Yeah.
Which is the 1% equity, 1% profit, 1% time. And Larry and Sergey came up to me afterwards and they said, you know what? We're going to do that too. And we're going to create Google.org and we're going to do the 1% also. And I want to thank them for that. And thank you.
Well,
and thank Google for that, because it created a huge foundation with a huge amount of good. Yeah. And that was the very first time I had met Larry and Sergey, and it was an incredible moment. So, and just at that moment, you were kind of coincidentally joining Google.
That's right. And
so, was it before the IPO or after?
I think I joined. The IPO happened like 3 weeks later.
Fantastic. So they joined. You joined. The company is going public.
That's right.
Now, is it at that point? Now, who was CEO at that point? Was it Eric or Larry?
It's Eric. Yeah.
Eric. And is that when you said to Eric, "I'm going to take your job, Eric"?
The thing I did recall, it was in 2004, around 2006 is when, the thing with Eric, I still remember that. Me and a few others, we wanted to build a browser. And Eric had gone through the browser wars before, was super familiar with it. I remember vividly Eric telling us, are you crazy? You know what it takes to build a browser? We're not building a browser. We still did it anyway, but he was super generous. And once we kind of bootstrapped a browser, a small team, and then we demoed it to him and Larry Sergey. And once he saw how good it was, he became one of the biggest supporters of it. But that's how Eric and I interacted. Yeah.
All right. Well, now you're squarely at Google, and it's a storied career for the next 21 years. From starting on this kind of incredible team that built the marquee browser Chrome all the way to today as the CEO, reflecting on that, 2 decades, what is your thought across this arc from South India now to this leadership journey at Google?
Okay, I think technology is one of the biggest enablers we know, right? It drives innovation at a fundamental level. If anything, that journey is, accelerating, right? I think we are living in the middle of it. Sometimes we may not fully feel it, but the pace at which it's evolving, and I feel, and I'm sure Mark feels that way, our job is to be good stewards of this technology, bring it in a way that really benefits society at scale, right? And so this journey to harness technology in a way that positively impacts humanity, I think that's what we need to do. We obviously do it in the context of building companies, but companies with a purpose, companies which give back. I think both Salesforce and Google share that deeply, and you inspired the Google journey there. I think there is no better technology to do that than AI, right? And one of the first things when I became CEO was we had gone through a decade of being a mobile-first company, and I wanted to drive the shift to being an AI-first company. So that's what we did in 2017. In fact, in 2017 at Google I/O, we spoke about this concept of AI-first data centers, and we announced our first generation of TPUs in 2017. But it's been a journey. I think in many ways, Larry, Sergey were visionary around always understanding the true potential for AI. I was fortunate to go through maybe 4 distinct moments which kind of like really brought it all together for me. In 2010, I went with Larry to the DARPA Grand Challenge, where they were testing autonomous cars, and we saw this car, the Sebastian's team, which won the DARPA challenge. So you kind of saw the progress that's possible. Jeff Hinton and team had come to Google, and so Jeff Dean demonstrated Google Brain in 2012, the ability for Google Brain to recognize cats using a neural network. That was 2012. I met Demis and team in 2014, and then in 2016 was the AlphaGo moment, right? So seeing all this, it was fortunate to be at that kind of a vantage point, which is why in 2017, I said the company has to be really focused on, it was obvious to me this was going to be the decade of AI. And so that was the journey since then.
Okay, so now let's go back about 3 years when we started to have